Café and Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. Today we talk with Gert Mellak, and he's in Madrid. He's the founder of SEOLeverage.com, an SEO platform that combines machine learning insights with expert human SEO consulting, guidance, and services. So, Gert, how does Google decide what goes first in rankings?
Hi, Thomas. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. Google actually has one real goal when it comes to rankings, and this is to make a user happy. Mm-hmm. We all have this feeling about Google, like this giant, greedy company. I'm not saying they're not, but they definitely, they came to the place where they are right now because they did one thing really, really well, which is serve the user. And this is really something as a business owner that also I have definitely, as a post-it note, mental post-it note always there is how can I serve my clients better? Mm-hmm. Because I know ultimately it's a long-term success recipe. So what Google tries to do is to really get into the head of their search users, right? Because they know if they bring up the best search result at the right time, and ideally even before you search it, that would be the ideal scenario, then you're going to come back to Google again. And this is how they make money. This is how they extract data, how they get you click on ads. They can show you stuff. It's just their business model. So they heavily depend on us using their search engine. Mm-hmm. So the first thing to really get up in rankings is to have just the best result out there.
And to work for it. So back to your point, that greedy, I wouldn't say they're greedy, but actually they're a business. Google's a business like other businesses. If they're offering Absolutely. A service, it has costs. Mm-hmm. And obviously, like you and me and most other people in business, we're out to make money. But I think to your point is to make people happy. And I think that customer satisfaction is crucial in any business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we also need to understand, like you said, Google is a business. They don't owe us anything.
Right.
And this is a big misconception. A lot of people come to me and say, look, I was one of the first in my industry. I have been doing this for 20 years. I really should be there, right? So Google should honor that my experience, should honor my history. Google doesn't care. Google doesn't care, right? If your site doesn't have the answer search users are looking for, Google is not going to care about whether you are the smartest person, whether you have the best, most experience, mm-hmm. or are the most respected authority. If the content is not on your site that would make a search user happy enough, Google is not going to take anything else into account. So this is like the base layer we need to see. People search for something, and I need to have one of the best answers out there. There's only up to 10 search results on page one. And page one is really what actually counts. Everything mm-hmm. else is pretty much invisible. You can be happy to show up on page two among 500 million other search results, and that's a great achievement and a great sign that you're not in a bad position. And this is where we very often start with clients. Mm-hmm. But if you're not on page one, you're not doing anything.
Well, and most people today are searching on a smartphone, on a handheld device. So they don't mm-hmm. even see a page. They actually see maybe the top one or two or three. And in voice searches today, in a voice search result, you just get one result.
Right. It's definitely getting tighter and tighter. I've been doing this for 20 years. But in the last years and especially months, we just see things get tighter. So we just need to be smarter about figuring out where do we actually have a shot and mm-hmm. not go after those head terms or big terms that people want to rank for. So if I want to rank for a guitar course, maybe guitar course is not the term you should rank for. Mm-hmm. Maybe your term is guitar course in Los Angeles or guitar course for electrical guitar in the States or something like this. Like so something very specific where you know. Yeah. Exactly. It's really geolocalization where it matters. So we have areas, for example, where users are searching locally, and even though you can deliver your service internationally, mm-hmm. people are still going to, just based on their mindset, search for a local provider. Right. I have a client who is a relationship coach, for example. Mm-hmm. Traditionally, the couple would do couple therapy. The couples would come in, physically handshake, sit down on the couch. Let's discuss this.
Cup of coffee.
cup of coffee. Exactly. Let's smooth down the environment a little bit. He's now doing this virtually. I just offered him with COVID. He figured out I could deliver this in the entire country with my license. I don't need to have people come in. I don't need this overhead before they come in, before they leave. Always 15, 20 minutes on top of this, etc. I can do much more.
Right.
Actually, with less effort and more focused effort, and the results are the same. So this
I saw on your site too, you have over 500 global clients, right? So back to that point, you can have a global client that obviously is global. They may offer service around the planet, but they probably have local, more specific offerings in different places in the world. So you handle that at the same time? That's how you help these global clients?
We have one phrase I really like, which is think globally and act locally. I don't know who coined it. It's not my idea, but it's really what summarizes it. You now are in a position where you can compete with pretty much everybody out there in every country, whatever you do, right? If you're a carpenter and you produce furniture, you can put your stuff on the market in Iowa, United States, in a local town, and be competing with a local carpenter there. If you can make the shipping and everything work, there's nothing that stops you apart from your mindset. So if you have the mindset and say, okay, I'm providing this service, I figure out the logistics. Physical products obviously harder than digital goods, but definitely it's possible. But we need to get out of this mindset. By myself, I was stuck for 15 years as a local digital agency, just serving a few clients around my hometown and the next hometown, and based in a small town near Madrid. So I had a few clients from the center of Madrid as well. But it's just little growth this way. The growth starts once you expand a little bit and say, okay, who can I best serve? I niche down, but I find this exact niche across the planet. So I have clients in Brisbane who only serve their local audience, but they are still happy to get my services because we are specifically helping them achieve what they want to achieve. So just because we serve an international audience doesn't mean our clients are only serving international clients themselves. They might have very local based things like real estate, for example. We have real estate clients from around the world. Every realtor serves their very local audience.
Well, and also I see you have clients of all different sizes.
Exactly. We work with very small stores with a few people, e-commerce sites, for example, who have 2-3 people behind them. But we have also worked with big international corporations like Regis, for example, who have thousands of business centers around the world. Because very often, as an agency based in a certain country, you have like a little bit of a competitive edge. Right. So those big companies usually get like big agencies or someone really almost famous directing their marketing efforts, but they know one thing for sure. They know that the local providers have the best experience in their local market. So this is, again, think globally, but then act locally, find those niches, find this potential opportunity in the local market. And for SEO, this means going into Google Spain and going into Google Brazil and going into Google in London, not only Great Britain, but really in London, and see what are the results that come up? What is Google looking for? What are people in London looking for that Google is going to serve them? Because one thing a lot of people don't understand is people in a different place are getting different results when they type in the same thing.
In a different language as well. He's talking about Brazil.
Exactly, the language on top of that, but also the location.
In English, it's different.
Exactly. So Google really tries to figure out what is behind this search term. So if I type in pizza in Madrid and you type in pizza at your place in Brazil, hopefully we don't get the same provider, right? The same Italian restaurant. Hopefully. Why? Because Google internally takes your search query and adds your country or your location. Right. So they get a more specific search result. So internally, they try to understand what did we actually mean when we type this in order to provide a better answer.
Well, I learned that a little while ago. I have 3 podcasts. This is my third. My first was Talk to Brazil, and Brazil with a Z. My second was BBN Brazil, Brazil with an S. And years ago, I found that if Brazil with a Z and Brazil with an S drew different crowds, and because different, same country, different words. When I came to this, and Café and Networking, I found is more generic. Everybody likes coffee, and most people network. So I says, well, the more generic I can be, and what are my keywords if I am king of network, and I've learned how to network face to face, And I have learned to network virtually. What we're doing right now is that. There's no boundaries anymore. But once you need to realize the basics of which you teach and which you help people.
Exactly. And we need to just realize that we are not serving with the entire service we could be offering. I've done everything in 20 years in digital marketing, everything. Right? I could be doing everything technically. I have limited down to SEO because this is where I know I can provide the best result. This is where we have built our platform, our software, trying to get a little bit smarter because Google is getting smarter as well. So we need to figure things out, do a lot of testing. But this is where we found our sweet spot. So what I very often encourage clients to think is, where is your sweet spot? Out of the 20 things you could be doing, pick one and make this work really, really well, and then try to scale internationally.
Well, that's what attracted me to you, honestly, when I saw that you combine machine learning insights with expert human SEO consulting, because we still need the human touch. I think we still need the human touch because it is the human touch that until today can still smell the pizza, right? Maybe someday the machine will get by that, but the human element is important.
It's incredible. I totally agree. It's incredible how far AI has come. I've been watching AI, artificial intelligence, for quite a few years. And it's really incredible how far it has come in terms of imagery, in terms of text, article creation, all kinds of analysis, obviously, etc. But at the same time, we do know that experience matters, right? So someone having done SEO for 2 years and someone having done SEO for 10 years has seen different things and has processes things, analyzes things differently, might not really freak out if a ranking suddenly drops versus someone newer or the owner themselves, they might think they're out of business now. So we just react differently. But we also have really acknowledged over the years that Google, with their own machine learning and artificial intelligence, is at the level where we very often can't process information that fast anymore. Right. So we need to pick up the data, and this is where our sweet spot is right now. We pick up the data and have our machine make sense of it to direct what the humans need to do afterwards. So we see with SEO, people have spent hours and thousands of dollars really investing in SEO, where there's only a handful of things that actually matter. I had a client writing for their blog for 9 years, and then she came for SEO help because nothing ranked. And the only advice I could give her was to throw everything away from 9 years because nothing was relevant for search. There was things you could have shared on social media, but it's not relevant for search. So once you direct the efforts a little bit, we do this like a personal trainer in a gym or a fitness app would do. Where you say, look, this is what you actually need to do. Forget about that one. Because in your industry, based on your goals, this is what you need to focus on exactly.
Well, focusing on your sweet spot, Gert, we're coming to the end of our time. How can our listeners find you?
Just head over to SEOLeverage.com. This is the website where we explain the platform, we explain what we do, and where we also explain this additional service layer with the consulting team and implementation if somebody wants to hand this entire thing off. But also just the platform gives you so much information that you can already use, and people can just get a demo with me. I'm doing the demos personally, walk them through, say, look, this is the situation, this is what I suggest for you, this is how you can leverage the platform insights in order to grow, and then take it from there.
Very good. Well, thanks for your time and thanks for sharing your experience.
Thank you very much for having me here, Thomas.
Good. And for our audience, remember, and you can find more information about Gert Mellak, and it's Gert, the last name Mellak. You'll find him on LinkedIn. And the site is SEOLeverage.com. SEOLeveragetogether.com. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at www.focusmi.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.